Okay. So today we are going to start unit number 2, that is C programming basics. So in a previous unit, we have seen that how the C++ language is developed, who is going to develop that language. After that, we have seen what are the advantages of C++, what are the application of C++, then what kind of software that we can build up by using the C++. So simply in a last lecture we have seen the overview of C++ language. Now in a unit number 2, now we are going to see some of the basics of C++. So these are the contents that we are going to cover in the second unit. That is, first of all, we are going to see the overview of this unit number 2. Then program structure means how the program should be write in a C++, and then after that the namespace identifiers, variable, constant, enum, operator, type casting, control structure that we are going to use in our program. So how all these things that we are going to use in our program, that we will see one by one. So in today's lecture we are going to cover first 2 points, and next lecture we are cover this all these points. So in an overview, so first of all, we will see what is the preprocessor directives. So all of you know that what is the meaning of preprocessor directives. So in a C language, you might have, I think, you in C language, you have seen that the preprocessor directive, that is hash include stdio.h, hash include conio.h. So that are nothing but the preprocessor directives. So that preprocessor directives is nothing but the program. So it is a program because it contains all the uh, files which are required to execute our programs. And second point, it makes C++ highly portable. That is, a program written in one machine that can be transferred to another machine. Suppose we have doing one C++ program in my machine, and if I transfer that program in another machine containing the C++ software, so I can easily run that program in another machine also. So that's why by using that preprocessor directives, because that preprocessor directives contain all the functions which are required to execute our program, just like hash include stdio.h. So that stdio.h are responsible for standard input output files. So that are nothing but the preprocessor directives. Similar to like that, the C++ language also contain the preprocessor directives, and what kind of preprocessor directives that C++ required, we will see in the next section. So during compilation, it forms duplicate image of the programs. So when we are going to execute our program, so .exe file is generated. फर्स्ट फाईल इज डॉट, तुम्ही सी चा प्रोग्राम घ्या. ज्यावेळेस तुम्ही सी चा प्रोग्राम सेव्ह करताना डॉट टीच्या program. User can create the preprocessor directives can be placed before the main function, but as required can be placed after the main function. So generally our preprocessor directives that we are going to place at the top of the program, that is in the first line is nothing, the first line of our program is nothing but the preprocessor directive, just like hash include stdio.h, hash include conio.h. So these are the preprocessor directives, and that preprocessor directives we are going to place before the main functions. Now there are special instructions for the compiler. This should not be terminated by semicolon. So any preprocessor directive cannot be terminated by semicolon. ज्या काही आपल्या प्रीप्रोसेसर डिरेक्टिव्स आहेत त्या प्रीप्रोसेसर डिरेक्टिव्ह सेमिकोलनने टर्मिनेट होत नाही. जसं तुम्ही हॅश इन्क्लूड stdio.h ही एक कंप्लीट लाईन लिहिल्यानंतर ती कंप्लीट लाईन त्या लाईन नंतर तुम्ही कधीच सेमिकोलन पुटअप करत नाही. So that's why we can say that our preprocessor directives cannot be terminated by semicolon. So once again we will see preprocessor directives is nothing but it is a program. So by using that preprocessor directives, our C++ program will be the portable, because, or that is, we can say that a program that we are written in one machine, so that program we can transfer to another machine. Means if I running the same program on one machine, so that same program I can execute on the another machine. So preprocessor directives. So during the compilation, that preprocessor directives exactly form the duplicate image of the program. That is, just like in a C program, first of all, when we write a program, that program should be saved by .c. But when we compile that C program, when we compile that C program, .exe file is generated. So that executable file is nothing but the duplicate image of a program. Now, next point will be says that usually preprocessor directives that we are going to place before the main function. So in a C language, you have seen that hash include stdio.h, hash include conio.h, that preprocessor directives that we are placed before the main function. So similar to like that, we can say like that usually preprocessor directives can be placed before the main function, but as required, means in a rare condition, that we are going to put that preprocessor directives after the main function. And when we write the preprocessor directives, so the after complete writing of preprocessor directives, we are never going to put semicolon. So that preprocessor directive should not be terminated by semicolon. So now the next slide. So the different, so the in the next slide we will see the different types of preprocessors. So the different types of preprocessor are, the first one is hash include, means to include any header files. So we are going to use that include function. Also preprocessor directives are used for macro declaration. It is also used for error generation. Some predefined names are there in our program. So for that we are going to use preprocessor directives. If any conditional compilers are there, so for that again we are going to use preprocessor directives and for program purpose. So generally we are going to use only hash include, because uh, macro declaration, error generation, predefined names, conditional compilers, that we are not required till now. So generally we are using hash include. So that hash include preprocessor directives we will require for the execution of our program. Now the next slide. So see here hash include. So to add the given header file into the program, so we are going to use hash include. So the use of hash include is, by using hash include, we are going to add a given header file into the program. So what is the meaning of header file? So header file is nothing but the programming file which contain the definition and declaration of library functions. So in a C program we have C hash include. After that we are written stdio.h. So that stdio.h is nothing but it is the definition and declaration of library function, that is standard input output function. And stdio.h in C language, it is used for printf and scanf function. Now it contains the declaration of given predefined functions. So in a C language, see here, printf and scanf are nothing but the predefined functions. So that header file will contain the declaration of that predefined function. Also, user can create their own header file when it is required. As per requirement, user can create their own header file, but generally that header file is used for the declaration of given predefined function. जसं C language मध्ये printf and scanf are nothing but the predefined functions, आणि त्या predefined function साठी आपण कुठली header file use करत होतो stdio.h. So when we are declare stdio.h into the header file, and after that in a main function we are writing printf and scanf function. Okay, जर समजा आपण stdio.h ही जर समजा header file defineच केली नाही, so during the compilation of our program will show the error. So the header file, so that header file contain the definition and the declaration of the library function, and also that header file contain the declaration of given predefined functions. So that's why we will require the header files. Now the next point, that is the program structure. So how we are going to write a C++ program? So this is the simple C++ program, and the output of this program is C++ is better than C. So it is better. I will open some C++ online compiler. So see here, this is the simple C++ program. So in that C++ program, hash include IOStream. So that hash include are nothing but our preprocessor directives, and IOStream is nothing but the standard library functions. So after that, where is the slide? After that, we are using namespace and std. Using namespace std. So use of this line is it identifies it identifies scope for the operator. It identifies scope for the operator. सो जनरली लक्षात ठेवा, ज्या वेळेस आपण तुम्ही टर्बो सी मध्ये जर समजा C++ चा प्रोग्राम केला तर युजिंग नेमस्पेस std लिहिण्याची गरज नाही. जनरली युजिंग नेमस्पेस std ही जी लाईन आहे, ही लाईन आपण उबंटू ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम असेल तर त्या उबंटू ऑपरेटिंग सिस्टम मध्ये आपण पुटअप करतोय, अँड दॅट नेमस्पेस विल डिफाइन्स or it identifies the scope for the operator. ठीक है. After that, integer main. So that main is nothing but the function, and it is having a integer type. So when we are returning here integer before the main function, so if integer is there, so it will return the value. So we are return 0 here. If we are using void here, so void does not return anything. After that, this is the cout line. Cout greater than symbol. C++ is better than C. So this is the simple printing line. So it will print. So that cout is used for printing purpose. So what is cout and what is cin, we will see in the next slide. So that cout greater than in double quote C++ is better than C. It will print complete line. It will print complete line. Now that slash n, we know that slash n is nothing but the that slash n is nothing but the that slash n is nothing but the new line character. And that double slash are nothing but it is a comment line. So whatever may be the things that we are written in a comment line, that thing should be skipped by the compiler during execution. एखादी थिंग जर समजा आपली कमेंट लाईनच्या अंडर प्रेझेंट असेल, सो ड्युरिंग कंपायलेशन दॅट कंपायलर स्किप दॅट पर्टिक्युलर लाईन. एखादी लाईन जर कमेंट लाईनच्या अंडर असेल, सो दॅट कमेंट लाईन शुड बी स्किप बाय कंपायलर ड्युरिंग कंपायलेशन. So C++, so in a C++, we can use either double slash as a comment line, double slash काय तुमची, it is a comment line, or we can use also this one, sorry, we can use as a this one also. So we can use this one also for comment line. So in a C++, either double slash or slash star or star slash, these are the two types to represent the comment line in a C++. Now we are written here return 0 because our return type is integer, and when we are declaring here integer, so integer always return the value, so that's why we are returning here 0. So this is the simple program structure. So now see here, in a C language we are using for input output function stdio.h, but in a C++ for input output function we are going to use iostream.h. So iostream.h, we are going to use here iostream.h for input output function. In a C, we are going to use stdio.h for a standard input output function, but in C++, we are going to use iostream.h. And these are nothing but the header file, and hash include is nothing but the preprocessor directive. Now in a second line using namespace std, so that namespace, it identifies the scope for the operator. Now we know that this is the main function and it is nothing but the starting of the program. Now this is the cout function. Now the functioning of cout object. Function of cout object is similar to printf function. जसं printf फंक्शन तुमचं काय एखादी थिंग प्रिंट करण्यासाठी यूज होत होतं. Similarly in a C++, instead of printf we are going to use here cout. Now here double slash that we are written here double slash, so that double slash indicate the comment line. So in a C++ we can give comment line in a two ways. The first one is by using the double slash, and second way, this is the way, that is slash star star slash. So by using these two ways we can give comment line in a C++. Now output operator. So see here that greater less than sign. So that less than sign is nothing but the output operator. So see here, if anything that we want to print in a C++, just like printf, so we can use here less than sign as a output operator. So anything under that output operator, that is used to print. So see here example, cout less than sign hello world. So anything should be written in a double quote after output operator. Anything should be written after output operator in a double quote. So that line should be used for printing purpose. So see here, when I execute this program, so the output is hello world. So cout less than hello world. So anything we will write after this double quote. So if I write here C++ is better than C, C++ is better than C. If I run this program, so see here C++ is better than C. So if I write anything after less than sign in a double quote, which is written under the object cout, so that line is used for the printing purpose. So that cout is nothing but the object. See here, this cout is nothing but the object that less than sign is nothing but the output operator, and that output operator is also called as insertion operator or put operator, because whichever may be the things that we are going to put after the less than sign in a double quote in a cout object, that thing is print, that thing is going to print. So that's why it is called as a put operator or insertion operator. Means पुन्हा एकदा सांगतोय, सी आउट ऑब्जेक्ट मध्ये लेस दॅन साइन नंतर ज्या जी काही गोष्ट आपण डबल कोट मध्ये लिहिणार ती गोष्ट तुमची प्रिंट होणार. सो सी हियर, सी आउट ऑब्जेक्ट मध्ये लेस दॅन साइन नंतर सी प्लस प्लस इज बेटर दॅन सी, that thing I written in a double quote, so that thing is going to print here. C plus plus is better than C. So if anything that we want to print, so that printing should be takes place by using the cout object using the output operator. So see here the functioning of that cout. So the cout is used for printing the contents, and it is the similar to printf function in C. जसं सी मध्ये प्रिंटफ फंक्शनचं काम होतं, सेम काम कोणाचं आहे या ठिकाणी, सी आउट फंक्शनचं. सो इट इज नथिंग बट द वर्किंग ऑफ सी आउट, and the working of cout is nothing but similar to printf function in C language. Now input operator. So the input operator should be defined by the greater than sign. Okay, and greater than sign that we are written in a cin object. So cin object is similar to scanf function. Scanf function is used to read the value of any variable. So in a similar way, that cin function is also used to read the value of any variable. So cin, so that cin is nothing but the object, and greater than sign is nothing but the input operator, and whatever may be the written after the greater than, so it is used, or that cin used to read the value of any variable or any number. So that input operator should be called as the extraction operator or gate operator. Why it is called as a gate operator? Because after anything should be written after greater than sign, so we are going to extract the value of that variable, or we will get the value of that variable. So that's why it is called as extraction or gate operator. So see here, cin operator is used to read the value, and it is similar to scanf function in C. So whatever may be the working of scanf function in a C language, so in a similar fashion that cin is going to work. So what is the advantages of cin function? So see here, in a scanf, what happens if we are showing here %d or %f, similar to like that. If floating point variables are there, so for that floating point we are defining %f. If integer type is there, so we are going to define %d is there. If character type variables are there, so for that we are going to define %c. So in a scanf function to read the value, depending upon the types of variable, we are going to use the %d, %f and %c. But in a cin, there is no need to write just like that %d, %f. When we write cin, so automatically whatever maybe the type is there, that is integer, float or character, it will automatically consider that either this should be the character type, this should be the float type, this should be the integer type. जसं सी लँग्वेज मध्ये स्कॅनएफ फंक्शन मध्ये कसं, जर समजा इंटिजर टाइप असेल तर आपण काय लिहित होतो, %d लिहित होतो. ठीक आहे. फ्लोटिंग टाइप जर समजा व्हेरिएबल असेल तर काय लिहित होतो, %f लिहित होतो. आफ्टर दॅट कॅरेक्टर टाइप असेल तर काय लिहित होतो, %c लिहित होतो. बरोबर आहे. बट इन अ C++, there is no need to write %d, %f or %c. एकदा तुम्ही सी इनपुट केला आणि सी इन नंतर ग्रेटर दॅन जेव्हा तुम्ही टाकता त्याच्यानंतर वी आर गोइंग टू पुट फ्लोट किंवा कॅरेक्टर जरी लिहिलं असेल, इंटिजर ए कॉमा बी, फ्लोट सी, कॅरेक्टर नेम, and after c in your written here c in greater than some a, there is no need to write percent d for integer variable, there is no need to write percent f for floating f, uh, floating type variable, there is no need to write for percent c for character, only c in and after that variable name, so that c in will understand that the type of that variable. So see here, c in is nothing but the object input of that greater than sign are nothing but the input operator, and that input operator should be called as the extraction or get operator, and c in object is similar to scanf function in C language. So we will see one simple example, just we will read the values. So see here, integer a comma b. So I am defining here two variables. After that I am going to print. So insert the value for a, insert the value, sorry, insert the value for a. After that I am putting here slash n. After slash n there should be the semicolon. So we know that the things that we are written after less than sign and in a double quote, that things is going to print here. So we are going to print the value for a, so insert the value for a. Now after that after that I am going to read the value of a, that is a. So see here, in a cin I am not written here percent d for integer type variable. If it is a floating type, so there is no need to define percent f, so automatically that cin object will understand the type of that variable. So if I run this program, insert the value of a, c in a, so I can read the value of a can be either 10 or 20 or it may be. Now in a similar way, now you, okay, just wait. Now again I will insert the value for b, insert value for b. Again I am putting here slash n, and after that semicolon, then I am written here cin. Cin is used to read the value of b. So see here, when I run the program, first of all I will insert the value for a, that is 10. Now I will enter, then it will ask again insert the value for b, that is 20. So in this way, and the programming of C++ is similar to C, only in a C language we are using printf and scanf function, here we are using instead of printf and scanf cout and cin function. So we know that, or simply we can say that C++ programs are complex, but C programs are complex, but C++ program are easier than C, because most of the things that should be complicated in a C language, that thing should be resolved in C++. So see here, in a simple case, that is the C in. So in a scanf function we are returning there percent d, percent f, percent c. म्हणजे एखादा जरी व्हेरिएबलचा टाइप चेंज झाला तरी आपल्या प्रोग्रामचा एरर येत होतं. या ठिकाणी जसं पर्सेंट डी, पर्सेंट एफ, पर्सेंट सी लिहिण्याची काहीच गरज नाही. इथं सिंपल त्या व्हेरिएबलचं नाव जरी पुटअप केले आपण इन cin. So automatically that cin object will understand that which kind of variable that should be here. So this is a simple program structure. So see here, hash include are nothing but the preprocessor directives. Now iostream.h. So this is the simple input output file. So see here, one thing that I forgot to tell you. Now for that cout object, for cout object, for cout object, ostream, for cout object, ostream output file will required. So to execute that cout, we will require ostream output file, and to execute that cin object, we will require istream. S-T-R-E-M. We will require istream output file. So for the combination of ostream and istream is nothing but the iostream, that is input output streaming file. So that in iostream header file is required for cout and cin object. For cout, ostream header file is required or output file is required. For cin, istream header file or istream output file is required. So the combined name of that ostream and istream is here iostream. So that iostream is nothing but the header file, and it is required for the predefined object, that is cout and cin. So is it clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
कोणाला काही डाऊट आहे का आजच्या लेक्चर मध्ये? Okay. So in a next lecture we will see the cascading of input and output, means input and output operator. In the next lecture we will see cascading of input and output operators, and these remaining points that we will cover, that is identify as variable, constant, enum, operator, type casting and control structure.
सर
अ
तो प्रोग्राम अजून एकदा एक्सटेंड करता का
कुठला?
आत्ता घेतलेला?
हा ना,
हां
काय नाही, या प्रोग्राम मध्ये जसं आपण फक्त दोन व्हेरिएबल्स आहेत ए आणि बी, त्याच्या व्हॅल्यूज आपण रीड केल्या आहेत. जसं सी प्रोग्राम मध्ये कसं मेन फंक्शनच्या आतमध्ये इंटिजर ए आणि बी, प्रिंटएफ इन्सर्ट द व्हॅल्यू ऑफ ए, स्कॅन एफ %d ए लिहित होतं, बरोबर आहे, ऍड ए, देन printf insert the value of for b, scanf %d and b, return 0. जसा सी चा प्रोग्राम होता सिमिलर प्रोग्राम आहे, फक्त instead of printf we are putting here cout and instead of scanf we are written here cin function. ठीक आहे. Now one thing you should keep in mind, that /n is nothing but our manipulator. That /n is called as the manipulator, that is called as a new line character. Means when we are written here, if I erase that /n from here and if I execute this program, so insert the value of a, that is 10, everything should be in a one line. Insert the value for b, that is 20. So the value of a and the value of b should be in a one line. If I written here less than, sorry, if I written here less than sign, end l, end l, and here also if I written less than sign, end l, and if I run this program, so see here, insert the value for a, that is 10, insert the value for b, that is 20. तर काय होत होतं, सी लँग्वेज मध्ये काय करत होतो आपण, /n is a new line character. So that new line character that we are going to use in a C language, But in a C++, we can use either slash n or end l for a new line character, and that slash n and that end l should be called as a manipulators. So is it clear? सी लँग्वेज मध्ये फक्त स्लॅश एन फॉर न्यू लाईन कॅरेक्टरसाठी यूज करत होतो. सी प्लस प्लस मध्ये स्लॅश एन और एंड एल हे जे दोन मॅनिप्युलेटर्स आहेत वी कॅन यूज फॉर अ न्यू लाईन. So see here that slash n we are putting here under the double quote. That slash n we are putting here under the double quote. But for endl manipulators we have to given two times less than sign and then write endl. स्लॅश एन कुठं आपल्या डबल कोटच्या आतमध्ये लिहित होतो. एकदा स्टेटमेंट लिहून झालं त्याच्यानंतर स्लॅश एन देऊन आपण डबल कोट क्लोज करत होतोय. बट एंडेल लिहिताना तुमचं डबल कोट क्लोज झालं त्याच्यानंतर दोन लेस दॅन साइन द्या अँड आफ्टर दॅट वी आर रिटर्न इयर एंडेल. सो दॅट स्लॅश एन अँड एंडेल आर नथिंग बट दी मॅनिप्युलेटर्स अँड बोथ थिंग्स आर यूज फॉर द न्यू लाईन कॅरेक्टर्स. इज इट क्लिअर?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we will today stop here because power failure. My laptop is totally discharged. So before that, give the attendance. So tell me first of all roll numbers one by one. हा सचिन तोडकरी नंबर सांगा पटकन.
30.
30. श्रेयश
26.
26. After that, Abasu Salgar
32.
32. After that, Abhishek Jamdar  Anmol Raut
8.
8. After that, Suhas Gadve
15.
15.
Ah,
श्रेयस साखरे झालं ना. व्यंकटेश गायकवाड
17.
17. राणी मोरे
6.
6. कोणी राहिलंय का? मोहिनी गायकवाड
1.
1. आणखी कोणी रिमेनिंग आहे का? 1 2 3
31.
31. 31 ना. Okay. So today we will stop here. Okay, thank you.
Hello. Hello everyone. Hello.